I guess you'd call me an average Joe. Everything about me is pretty normal. Got a pleasant job, ordinary life, plain run-of-the-mill existence. So it came as a complete surprise to me when I tunneled to the center of the earth with titanium teeth and was crowned king of the mole people. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It all started last Tuesday when I came down to breakfast. My lovely wife Janet stood at the kitchen stove frying my usual omelet and wearing her usual cotton frock, and as usual she said, "Morning, honey." Well, my usual reaction to all of this is to kiss my wife and eat my omelet. But that day, my reaction was totally unexpected. I started to snarl and salivate. I threw over the carefully set breakfast table and dove through the kitchen window. No, it was Wednesday. It might not be important. Now, I've always had pretty good teeth, dad's side of the family there, but until that moment, I had no idea that my entire jaw could extend 5 feet in front of me and then dig like a massive mandible at a blur of speed. I guess you learn something new every day. Anyways, next thing you know, I'm tunneling to the center of the earth, through clay and rocks and burning seas of molten magma, and the weird thing, I didn't get my characteristic heat rash. Well, next thing you know, I had crashed through into Mole World. Mole World is this odd inverted land in the center of the earth where above your head, at the center of the earth, is a glowing sphere that provides light for the mole people. Well, the things you see when you don't have a camera, huh? I remember I decided to start exploring this strange purplish lands. I was down on my hands and knees sucking ants from a stump when I heard a horrible din. I snuck forward, and there in a clearing before me, a ferocious battle was being fought. The cruel groundhog people were hacking apart the cute little button-eyed mole people with broadswords and battle axes. Now, me, I've never been much of a one for blood and violence. I figured, that's the police's job, let them do it. But faster than you could say Jack Robinson there, I was, me, in the thick of the fray, attacking and killing scores of groundhogs, just biting them in half with my blade-like teeth. Well, of course, that turned the tide for the home team. We won. The moles were pretty grateful. They carried me through the twisting streets of Mole City, right to the Mole Palace, where, well, for the first time in my life, a brunch was held in my honor. I was feasted with big plates of worms and grubs and steaming flagons of something. The writhing mole dancing girls surrounded me, stretching and clawing at the air suggestively. And then the entire multitude grew silent and expectant and turned to bow before a regal carriage that was pulled by a giant earthworm. Quite a rig, I thought. Now, I've been married to a lovely gal for 15 very happy years, but when I saw Numnu the Mole Queen step from her carriage, I guess I kind of lost it. She was clad only in a shimmering, translucent robe that did nothing to conceal her 12 pert teats. I drew her into my furry arms, and I pressed my eager lips to her fragrant snout. Our two bodies commingled, and then we rotted in full sight of the screaming multitude who joined us in an orgy of excess. Well, the next day, of course, I was back at work. Janet was pretty good about the whole thing, although she did say she'd never understand what I'd done in a million years. Which is why this morning, when she grew gills and rocketed through the roof, I just had to smile.